keep on making, yes, you keep on making. Make it alright. You keep on making, yes, you keep on making. Make it alright, alright, alright.
Hey, everybody. Welcome into the building. It is Wednesday. It's Trending Topics, and we here because we got stuff to talk about, okay? So, listen, tonight's title is called Troubled Souls. Troubled Souls. If you hanging out with me tonight, I appreciate you. You know what you got to do. Purchase your ticket for this train ride. Hit the like button. Troubled Souls. So, Blac Chyna, Angela White. So her stage name is Blac Chyna, but her government name is Angela White. She interchanges between both because she still does stage stuff. She said we gotta give Kanye West a break. She said he has childhood trauma. So we gotta cut him some slack. She said his recent outburst is just a cry out for help. And she knows because she had her own trauma and stuff that she went through. So therefore, she's asking you not to judge so much, but to give him a break. Now, I think we probably are all in agreement that, Kanye, if we all are dealing with 10 cards, Kanye perhaps has 3 or 2 on a good day. I think we all might agree on that. But he's an adult. And how much slack do we give an adult? But I guess we got to say he's an adult that needs help. So do we lean back and hold up and chill out, knowing that he needs help? I don't know, but we're going to talk about it. Then we got Justin Bieber, troubled soul. He said he's not taking any substances. His wife said he's not taking any substances. His management team said he's not taking anything. But I guess they want us to not believe our eyes. They want us to believe that our own eyes are lying to us. Something is amiss. Something ain't right. And then after he denies taking anything, he's on a private jet doing this nursery school rhyme rap. Talking about I'm high as magpies. Yeah, I'm high. Huh? He's a father now. I often wish that every year we would all get our own little wish that will come true. Because my wish would be that the whole world would be eradicated of these illegal substances. That'd be my wish one year. Next year, I would wish everybody just passed of just natural causes after they got to live a good long life. Just wish we would get a wish every year. But we don't. So what are we going to do? And then we have our last story. It's Karen Huger. Now listen, I don't want anybody to get it twisted. When you decide to drink and get behind the wheel of a car, you need to pay the consequences. But I also know that alcoholism is a disease. It's a disease. And it's a disease that some people struggle to even recognize and realize that they have said disease. and then to get help. And some people struggle getting help all of their life. Now, it's a sad day when you're in your 60s and you got to go serve time in the jail in the day of a Uber, a Lyft. You could get a car service by just punching in some stuff on your phone. And you decide is that you drunk as a skunk and you're going to get behind your car. She's very fortunate that she didn't kill herself or anyone else. But that judge I heard showed her no mercy because he felt like you took this thing as a whole joke. You had 3 priors. Now this is your 4th. And I heard the judge say, what do you think? We're going to wait till your 5th one and then punish you? He said, not under his watch. And so the prosecutors, they come on now, call a friend. Hashtag call a friend. Thank you, Takesha. I appreciate you. You know, it's just like, Karen, what a disgrace. And now her husband, Ray Ray, I hope he has the funds and the money and all of that to continue to survive without her Real Housewives of Potomac check and without her being here. Not on Savannah, not hashtag free Ray. Free Ray Ray. Who knew that Ray Ray was going through all of that? And I don't think the children were in the courtroom, but Ray Ray came. And they didn't even give her 30 more days to think about it. They took her into custody immediately. Listen, guys, I don't know, but we got to talk about it tonight. We're talking about troubled souls. So y'all know what I need in the chat. I need a what? I need a choo-choo. All aboard, everybody. It is Wednesday night trending topics, and we got stuff to talk about. It's called Troubled Souls, okay? We got Blac Chyna defends Kanye West. We got Justin Bieber sparking concerns because he's just seeming like a lost soul. And we got Karen Huger. The judge hit the gavel and said, yes, you're going to jail. Not 6 months, but a whole year. And then when you get out, we're still going to monitor you. Darn near all the way up until she probably going to be in her 70s. Listen, guys, let me bring the people in the building. Hold on 1 second here. Savannah, how you doing?
Hey, Diva. I'm good, Diva. How are you?
Good. Felicia, Katrina, Julius.
Hey, Diva. Hey, Kat. Hey, Pamela.
Hey, Diva.
Choo-choo. So, you know what? Let's first deal with Karen Huger. Let me just go ahead and get right into the story, guys. Hold on 1 second. Let me just bring up this news clipping right here. Let me see. I hope I didn't click out of it. Okay, I think it's here.
Of the Montgomery County Courthouse, where earlier today, Real Housewives of Potomac star Karen Huger learned her fate. Joining us now, our very own Bob Barnard outside of the courthouse with the latest. Hey, Bob, what's going on?
Hey there, Guy. Things are quieting down a little bit here. We definitely had some fans of the show who were here, Real Housewives of Potomac. And we just heard now from the attorney for Karen Huger. He said that she is accepting this 1 year jail sentence with peace, that she's had time to reflect on this. It seemed startling to almost everybody in the courtroom when the judge said, look, I know the state said sentence her to 2 years, at least it was the recommendation of the state, to sentence Karen Huger to 2 years in prison, suspending all but 6 months, so meaning 6 months in jail. The judge said no, 1 year in jail, and that when she gets out a year from now, she cannot drive her car for another year, drive any car for another year after that. And she was to be handed over to the custody of the Department of Corrections right away, leaving the courtroom and going right to jail. She did speak before the sentencing and said that she thanks God that nobody was hurt last March 19th, just before midnight, out on Oak Lawn Lane in Potomac, when she had this single car accident, and admits that she has an issue mixing alcohol with prescription drugs for depression and anxiety, but that she has been going to AA meetings and plans to attend AA meetings for the rest of her life. The judge, when he handed down the sentence, said, "You still seem to think it's a problem mixing alcohol with your medications, not that you have a drinking problem." And he said, "Look, in the last 17, 18 years, this is your fourth time you've been charged, at least initially, convicted by a jury, in this case in December, of driving under the influence, and you still don't get it, even though you've been in treatment, outpatient, inpatient, went for 31 days to West Palm Beach earlier this year after she was convicted by a jury of this DUI charge, but that you still don't take this seriously." So the judge said, "You're going to jail," and threw on these other restrictions, no driving for a year afterward. And even the folks who are fans of the show who've been watching this tell us they think it's a good sentence. They were just surprised that she got a year in jail.
Bob, do we know at what point she will actually be taken to the facility? Is it immediately, or will she have some time to actually prepare to go?
No, and you often wonder, and that varies. Often they'll say, "Okay, report back here in a month or 60 days. She was told she has like a 30 days or a year to appeal this sentence, but she's going right away. I mean, I had a chance to speak to John McCarthy, state's attorney for Montgomery County. It was one of his assistants who prosecuted this case and made the argument for 6 months in jail to the judge, Terrence McCann, here this morning. But McCarthy told me she's going right away to jail. So if she's not on her way, she may be being processed here at the courthouse, but will be on her way. We're told, handed over to the state of Maryland, but will serve her time more than likely, it appears, at the jail here in Montgomery County for a full year.
Bob, we know that this story is filled with plenty of drama, and when it comes to drama, perhaps no one loves it more than the Real Housewives of Potomac cast, if you will, along with the production crew. Do we know, for drama reasons, if she entered through the front door or did she do so through the back door?
We had both doors covered, Guy, but she apparently came in through a garage, like a basement garage, with her lawyer. So she avoided the cameras going in, and we're not likely to see her going out. There may be like a jail van that'll leave here, but we won't see her. One of the arguments that her attorney, David Martella, made before the sentencing was that, had production on the latest season of Real Housewives of Potomac not been starting at about the time of her accident last March, she would have sought help sooner. That one of the reasons she didn't seek out and get help prior to her conviction in December was because of production of the show, but she avoided the cameras here today. Before the sentencing, she had told the judge that, I can use my platform, the fact that I have a camera lens, to try to advocate against drinking and driving, knowing now how bad it is from her recent re-education about it, but the judge was having none of that. And it was interesting. Some of the show watchers who were here and we spoke to afterward remarked on how the judge kind of read from a prepared statement. So yes, he listened to the arguments that Karen Huger's attorney made, that her plea for leniency, they were looking for home detention or probation, and to the state's argument, which had been spelled out in a document last week. But he kind of read from his what seemed to be prepared statement before he imposed the sentence. And one of the things he said was that, how many times does it take for someone to get caught drinking and driving before a real sentence is handed down? He blasted the guidelines that the judicial system and prosecutors were kind of limited to. And one quote that stuck out to me, he said that at the time of her accident last March 19th, she was filled to the gills with alcohol.
Wow.
So he wasn't buying that it was just the fact that she had mixed a couple of Stella beers with her medications. So pretty interesting goings on here at Circuit Court in Rockville today, Guy.
It's official. Karen Huger now to serve time behind bars. Bob Barnard joining us outside of the Montgomery County Courthouse. Thank you so much, Bob. Truly appreciate you. We'll check back with you later.
You bet.
On the show. Joining us now, Sylvia, our digital content producer. Obviously, this is a breaking story and something we were all expecting to finally get some closure to with regard to this sentence aspect of it all. Yet again, we now know that she is to serve at least 1 year behind bars at the Maryland or the Montgomery County facility, correctional facility, I should add. It's interesting because so many folks don't necessarily know what goes on with that, with regard to what happens once you arrive at that facility.
Yes, so arrival at the facility could look like going through a body search of sorts, obviously getting a particular attire to wear once you're there, but also being paired with a facility manager, I believe, or basically a caseworker to some degree, where you can basically be offered different programs and things, because at least for Montgomery County, they do focus on rehabilitation programs for inmates to basically assist with making tough decisions and basically mapping out your time at the facility.
Yeah, gosh, you can only imagine what one will have to go through in order to take part in that. I mean, we know that there will be a body search and or a body scan of some sort.
Right.
You think about the life she has lived thus far.
Yeah.
Which she will now face on a day-to-day basis. It will be very different than what she used to. Going back to the courtroom, do we know any of her castmates happen to be inside of the courtroom as well?
So from my understanding that the castmates were not at the courtroom actually, and I have been monitoring to see if any castmates have responded or said anything about the verdict. I have not seen anything thus far, but definitely something to keep an eye on, being that this was a big topic throughout the season, even at the reunion, which is still currently being aired and going on right now. A lot of the castmates wishing her the very best, but as Bob Barnard mentioned, the judge was very adamant on saying, you know, this is your fourth offense in the last, I believe, 17 years. Should we wait for your fifth sentence or your fifth conviction to actually, like, you know, send you to jail? So it'll be really interesting to see what her castmates say and how they support her through this time. But obviously serious news coming for Karen Huger and her family.
And we know once she actually ends that jail sentence, it doesn't end there, if you will.
Exactly, yes. So she will not be able to drive her car. And after that, potentially a breathalyzer could be placed in her vehicle moving forward. Something that I also thought was interesting that Karen actually said to the judge, you know, I apologize. This is a wake-up call for me. I'm willing to go to AAA meetings for the rest of my life and be an advocate for not drinking and driving, which is really interesting. Also, she presented 3 letters to the officers who were actually on the scene that night, apologizing to them and also thanking them for their service.
Well, hopefully one step forward in the right direction for Ms. Huger, who yet again will now serve time behind bars. Very interesting. Sylvia, our digital content producer, joining us right here on the Live Zone.
So Karen, that's it. Savannah, your thoughts?
I believe that that's a just sentence. Karen needed to go away for, I'm glad that it is a year and not 6 months. I don't think she would have learned anything in 6 months. This being her 4th offense, that alone is scary. And for her to constantly claim that she does not have a problem. And during the season, she kept saying that she will be vindicated. So, and I was a Karen fan. I loved Karen. I even bought her 3-wick candle when it first came out, and it smells great. But I'm highly disappointed that someone who had the means, who had the opportunity, who was a staple in her community, kept making such reckless, stupid decisions and putting other people in harm's way. Now, if you recall, Karen used to live in Virginia in the beginning of Potomac. She lived in Great Falls. Great Falls is a very affluent area of Virginia, and it's nothing but windy roads and mountains and hills. It's a beautiful area. So that's where they delivered the pizza to. But for her to be so reckless, not only with her own life, but others, it's unforgivable. So I'm um, kudos to the judge for giving the right sentence. I think that Karen doesn't need to be an advocate for no one but Karen. I think the only thing I'm hoping that they do give her the treatment that she needs because she absolutely does need some help. And first of all, and Karen needs to admit that she has a problem with alcohol. This is more than just, and we've all seen her be intoxicated on the show, but it was downplayed and dismissed. And we can't just dismiss anymore. So it's unfortunate. My heart goes out to Ray um, and the children. Her sister was in the courtroom today with him, so she was there. Um, and it's, I hope, I don't think she'll serve a full year though. I think she'll probably get out in like 6 to 8 months, unfortunately. But I need Karen to do some community service, or Karen needs to start taking care of Karen. And yeah, that's what I don't want her back on the show. Uh, I just think she needs to really get intensive therapy and treatment. That's all I have to do.
Thank you. Felicia, your thoughts?
Well, good evening, everyone. You know, I don't follow these shows, but thank you, Diva, for, letting us all see that news story. What kept crossing my mind is that this is a woman who has heavy addictions, not just I got a drinking problem. And when you go cold turkey like this, because this is cold turkey. So even let's say she stopped drinking 2 weeks ago or
Okay.
a month ago, her prescriptive meds. No. I am absolutely confident she's in full-blown crisis tonight. And they're going to probably have to move her within that facility to the medical side of things. They're going to have to give her all kinds of treatment. Her body cannot go through that kind of shock and detox like that, and she comes through in a surviving, thriving way. Yeah, many of us have addictions. I have them. Yeah, I have to have my sugar and my tea. Where's my carbs? Where's my fat? I need the candy. Where's the sweet? As we age, we become more and more reliant upon these things. She's a woman of an older age. I don't know how long she's been boozing. I don't know how long she's been doing the prescriptive meds, but watching that footage reminded me of looking at Wendy Williams. And this is serious. And so to all the young women out there, don't go this path. Like Diva said, let's walk away from that stuff. I know you say no, and give up the fried chicken, Felicia. Yeah, I get it, but I'm aware and I'm present in my own life. But yeah, it's just, I'm just in prayer for this woman. I'm not saying she had any right to be under the influence of anything. Not once, not twice, not 4 times or anything, but just thinking that this night that they took her immediately. She didn't even get to go visit her doctor before she left to see what could be done for her. Scary. So my prayers are with her tonight because she's going to need them. She's going to need them because I'm confident that no one who has watched this show or care for her, as Savannah just said, would want to hear that she's not here with us no more by the weekend. I'm really, really in prayer for this woman. Thank you, Diva.
Thank you. I appreciate you. You brought up some very good points, and it breaks my heart even more. I will say this, at the very least, because I think they said the first DUIs, and somebody could correct me if I'm wrong, I want to say it started in 2006 to 2011. That's when she had the first three DUIs. So to your point, Felicia, at the very least, we know the drinking has been for a minute now. Ay, ay, ay. Wayne, your thoughts?
I think it was just as well. In fact, they should have done it a long time ago. This judge actually probably saved this woman's life.
Come on, talk, Wayne.
1 year compared to giving her a break and doing her public speaking or whatever about the effects of alcohol and driving and stuff like that. Then put her back out there, but this time we're mourning somebody, and she definitely sees the light. So it was just in that year, another year after that, this 1 year is better than 20 in somebody's life, because that night could have been somebody's life. It could have been hers.
Yeah.
So that judge did it swift. Right, you don't have time to do nothing. This is reality. This is what everybody else gets. And she's in that's a very wealthy county in Maryland, Montgomery County. She'll be well taken care of if she takes the opportunities. I'm done.
Appreciate you. Julius, your thoughts?
No sympathy for me over here. She had multiple chances. She screwed every one of them up. She could have put someone else to be unalived. We have talked plenty times about this in our shows, and unfortunately, one of our passengers knows of this pain way too well, but I have no permission to talk on that. But we all know about that. So I am glad that the judge laid down the hammer. It's about time. And he was still reserved in his words. I wouldn't have been, but see, that's why the Lord doesn't have me as a judge. Because I would have called her out the way the parents should have called her out as she was coming up. That's how she would have been told about herself. Anywho, back to my point. I'm glad she's locked up. And again, no sympathy from me over here.
Ooh, Katrina, your thoughts?
Well, I have sympathy. I'm not saying that she shouldn't be locked up, but what I am saying, as I stated earlier, is why didn't he just send her to a rehab for a year, inpatient rehab, mandatory, can't leave, so she can get therapy, detox. The lady's 60 years old, coming off alcohol, withdrawals. I have seen people that unalive. I mean, been unalive going through those withdrawals. And yes, she has a problem because everybody know Karen's been known as the drunk of Potomac. So what gets me is if the judges didn't put a stance on it from the get go from the first 3 times, if they would have did something then, maybe this incident wouldn't have happened now. Because she kept seeing that, okay, I just get smacked on the hand, I serve my probation, I stay out of trouble for a little while, and it goes away. If they would have put in strict rules not the first one, the second one, and the third, maybe this one wouldn't have happened. Maybe they would have said, well, you can't drive, you need to put one of these monitors in your car. You have to blow in it before you even start driving. She had a driver. People said she was sleeping with the driver. Um, like I said, she gets sympathy from me. She lost her parents in the same year. That's hard. You on this earth with no parents. I get that. I feel that. I'm that way now. Um, like I said, I think they should have give her in-house mandatory rehab. Why we got to pay for her? Well, why they got to pay? The taxpayers got to pay for her to be fed 3 times a day, housed, watch TV, do whatever. And if she was in rehab, she would have to pay for that herself. But the taxpayer is flipping her bill for staying inside of a facility because people want her to be locked up. I'm not saying that she shouldn't be locked up. I'm saying that they should have sent her to mandatory rehab. She can't leave, be there for a whole year, get therapy, do something. Because going into prison, into jail, is not going to give her therapy because they saying she's locked up, she's behind bars or whatsoever. When she get out, no, they're saying that she can't drive. Okay, how many people have gotten out of jail and did exactly what the judge told them not to do? Come on, be for real. What I'm saying is being in jail is not going to give her the rehab and the the assistance that she need, the medical assistance that she need, because this woman do have a problem. She have to have a problem if she's going through this all these years. And like I said before, this is not her first time. They should have did something the first time, the second time, the third time. They was the one that was giving her the smack on the hand, and she thought that she can continue doing this. Well, she's a grown person, but as we know, people with addiction doesn't think of it that way because their mind and their brain is going another way. So that's why I said that she should have been in-house rehab, full year, mandatory, don't go nowhere, and let her pay her own bill instead of having the taxpayer paying for her to get 3 meals a day and lay down and watch TV and to do nothing all day. That's all I'm saying. That's all I got, Diva.
All right. In my opinion, your thoughts?
So first of all, this was a sad situation. And I'm so here with Felicia. I'm keeping her in prayer because this is gonna be rough on her. And just to hear her tell Ray that, to take care of himself as she was going out, I was in tears. Because let me so y'all know I'm of the mind and you do the crime, you do the time. What I will say is jail ain't never saved nobody. Prison ain't never saved nobody. And she's 60 something years old. If you really trying to make an impact. But I don't think prison is gonna make an impact that they want to make. I don't know what the right sentence is. I just know this gonna be rough on her. And if you've ever dealt with somebody that's dealing with stuff and they cope and they depend on something else to cope with it, once they don't have that, they lose their mind. And I'm praying for her mental health. That's what I'm gonna pray for. I'm praying for her mental health. I'm praying for her safety because I'm of the same mind as Felicia. I wouldn't want to hear a week later that this lady did something to herself because she couldn't take it behind these bars.
Thank you. In my opinion, Mel, your thoughts?
Yeah, I was surprised. I was very surprised that this happened. I didn't remember that it was happening today. Um, I think that my mother, she used to tell me this. Actually, all the ladies in my life used to tell me this when I was younger. It said, "A hard head makes a soft behind."
Mm.
It's just this thing where you people try to tell you all over and over, and then you have to fall, and you learn your lesson. I think for me, what I get from Karen is she's a very strong woman. She's a beautiful Black woman. I support her on that level. She's not my favorite character on the show for many years, but it seems like with this past, that she has with this issue, I don't know why she didn't really want to learn her lesson, and we could see sort of little snippets of that on the show. She's a very, very stubborn woman, and she only makes it harder for herself. She lost her parents, and I also want to add this to the table too, because actually I do feel sorry for her in this regard. She had on the show a very, very good friend, actually, who I don't get me emotional. Actually, I used to talk to him on off and on, throughout the years. Matt was one of her best friends. He was an assistant of hers for a long time, and I remember before the show blew up, I used to talk to him on a regular basis. I think I probably talked to him a couple months ago, before he passed away,
Mm.
and we were talking because sometimes he'd apologize if I sent a message, and he was a nice person. I talked to him online, and he passed away, in November. And so it is a little, and she loved him very much. And you notice, Diva, she didn't talk about this publicly, if you notice that. Publicly, she never really talked about this pain. Like she's not really crying, but in the blogs and stuff, they saying that is actually very heavy on her too. It happened in November, She's going away now, so she is in a state of, the drinking happened or kind of spurred up after her parents passed away a couple of years ago. That's what she's saying now. But Matt just passed away in November, so she is definitely going through a lot right now. So I'm not going to try to make any jokes, but I'm just going to hope and pray that Karen will understand that don't be stubborn. Just learn your lesson and protect yourself, protect your family, and protect society. You don't want to go out there and be causing other people problems, because it seems like in her life she has a lot of complications and issues and all type of stuff. And drinking is never going to be the solution for her that she wants it to be. I think that's where I'm coming. Her life is a complicated life. She can't control one of her best friends. I wouldn't go into detail, but it was very tragic what happened to him, and she can't control what happened to her parents. So what she can control is to take care of herself. Don't complicate it more. There's a lot of things going in your direction that you're not responsible for, but this drinking is just messing things up. And Ray, is a elderly man, and I'm sure that's very hard for him too, and her daughter and her son, and the family. So I just hope that they do take special care of her these upcoming weeks, that she, as Felicia was saying, that she's detoxing, and that she makes some different choices. At first I would say too, I've said it other places, Diva, that I wanted her to get the Luann treatment. I said it in a funny way. I wanted her to get it on her ankle, and that we would monitor her through the program. I mean, through the show, like they did with Luann. Luann basically was in AA, and she did community service. She did everything on the show. I wanted the same treatment for Karen, but I didn't know about the past. I didn't know all that and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, so it's just very sad, and I don't have any jokes. It's just very sad. I don't have anything to say.
It is sad. It is sad. And I
Diva,
don't.
can I ask a question? I know you talking. Who is Blue Eyes? Because I heard that she said in the courtroom when she was leaving that she loved Ray, and she said, "Blue Eyes, I'll see you soon."
Did she say that? I don't think she said that.
I don't
Yeah,
think.
she said that because somebody was in the courtroom and they reported back exactly what she said when she left, when they took her in. Yes, she did say that.
Where's this?
Well, I didn't get that part. It's Rhea had reported too.
Listen,
Yeah, I
trust me
hadn't
when
heard
I
that
tell
part.
you something. Go back and look at. Listen, the girl
Okay,
was
well,
in the
let
courtroom.
me stop you. Let me stop you. I don't want to go far off because I got two other stories to get into. I think the main thing with this is that it's just sad. It's just sad what this has come to. But I do personally believe that a slap on the hand for Karen wasn't going to stop her. I think she was in a downward spiral. And unfortunately, the courts had to do what they had to do. Because if this was not Karen Huger and it was anybody else, I think she would have been got locked up. I also think that it's a possibility that she got pulled over a couple times before and they let her get home and they let her slide. And now they was just like, this is too much. A whole tree involved. The car was totaled. It was just tragic. I'm going to roll into the next story. Just sad. And this one is about Justin Bieber. Let me just click out of this one so I give myself some room here. And Justin Bieber is another one. He's just sparking concern with fans and a lot of people. So let me share screen.
Justin Bieber's recent video is raising concerns just days after his rep slammed drug use rumors. The singer takes to Instagram February 25th to post a new video where he raps about flying high, a move that has fans concerned.
Like a fly guy, I fly high like a magpie. I go high like I'm that guy.
The video comes shortly after his rep fired back at claims he's been using hard drugs, telling TMZ February 23rd that it's absolutely not true. Instead, his team notes it's been a very transformative year for Justin as he ended several close friendships and business relationships that no longer served him. And as the Grammy winner's 31st birthday approaches on March 1st, he's focused on his family and his music, not speculation about his health, which his rep calls exhausting and pitiful, and shows that despite the obvious truth, people are committed to keeping negative, salacious, harmful narratives alive. E! News has reached out to Justin's rep for comment and has not heard back. Speculation about Justin recently went into overdrive when he stepped out to record music in New York City and to support Hailey in Los Angeles, with his interactions being scrutinized online. Amid rumors on social media, including speculation of a rift between him and Hailey, Justin posted a message online. He wrote in his February 20th Instagram story, which was set to the song Free Fallin' by John Mayer, "It's time to grow up. Changing is about letting go, not trying harder. Are you tired of trying to follow all of the rules in hopes to get the results you crave? I found love to be more powerful than rules."
Oh, so hold on, let me just share screen again. So deserving Justin Bieber raps topless on private jet as fans beg him to get help, saying you're a dad now. Okay, and we saw the video where he's saying he ride high like a magpie. It was just crazy. So Justin Bieber has sparked concern after rapping topless on a private jet as fans begged him to get help. He rapped about flying high just 2 days after denying he has been using drugs. Okay, and Sam, he had his bag of chips. That's some unknown guy in there with him. The 30-year-old singer slowly swayed and slapped his leg while holding a bag of chips with his eyes looking glazed. Staring down at the camera, Justin said, "I fly high like a bad guy. I fly high like a magpie. I go high like a bad guy." A friend smoked a cigarette and danced around him. One fan responded to Justin's new video, "Poor Justin, so talented but wasted. Justin, wake up, please. Your son needs you." Another said, "This is not helping to end the drug allegations," while a third said, "Bro, it's not okay. Please tell me that y'all can see this too." One more said, "Oh my God, I can just imagine what Hailey Bieber is going through after giving birth with a husband who is always floating in the clouds." Superstar Bieber denied he was using drugs just 2 days after fans claimed he looked fragile and his eyes were hollow. Justin Camp has been dismissive of health concerns, but over the weekend, the singer was spotted looking gaunt on a night out with comedian Dave Chappelle in Hollywood. Disheveled Justin was seen amid a cloud of smoke as they talked. According to his rep, however, he's focusing his energies on actively parenting his newborn son, 6-month-old Jack Blues, and has been spending time in the studio working on new material. In a statement to Rolling Stone, reps for both Justin and wife Hailey Bieber called the public's obsession over the singer's mental and physical health exhausting and pitiful, and shows that despite the obvious truth, people are committed to keeping negative, salacious, harmful narratives alive. The reps also added that last year was very transformative for him as he ended several close relationships and business relationships that no longer served him. However, the statement has done nothing to assuage the fans. Pictures of Justin looking gaunt and vacant continue to fuel rumors about his mental and physical health. And Hailey wants to turn things around quickly. A Hollywood insider told The Sun, Hailey and Justin have taken a belly full of negative scrutiny, and she's putting her foot down and saying it has to stop. That said, it hasn't stopped her and Justin's friends from being worried about him and their ongoing status as a couple. The consensus is you only have to look at Justin to know that something's off. And the worry is that it seems to be getting worse. The U.S. Sun Star 28 has continued to work and modeled in a shoot for her makeup brand, Rode. Pals reportedly say she's put up with a lot in the marriage and urged her to leave Justin. Concerns are sparked there. Savannah, your thoughts?
Yeah, I definitely agree that he needs help. Justin has been on a downward spiral for quite some time. And I think everyone that's been around him has failed him throughout his life, from his mother to his father to Usher, um, to his management team, to that pastor that he was with a few years ago. They have all abused and used this young man and it's only for access and for financial means. He's really not had anyone in his corner. And I know I've been one that I believe that he is one of the victims in the Sean Combs case. But you know, I don't think he is ready to face or open that door and face that pain yet. And so this is his way of coping and masking all the pain that this young man has been feeling for years. This is nothing new. I've seen him even before he got with Hallie. I really hope that she doesn't leave him because she's been the one positive thing in his life, and I was hoping that the baby would help him, you know, turn around. I hope that he is cleaning up his circle, but it doesn't look like it, although he says he is. Um, but this is a young man who lives and sleeps and eats pain and disappointment night and day. And Justin is just he's just I think he's just so lost and confused and in a dark state of mind that he really needs a lot of physical and mental care before it becomes a tale as old as time with all these other artists that we have lost due to substance abuse and then being alone in a room by themselves and unaliving and giving it to the pain and the darkness. So I hope he does get someone to help him come out of that soon. That's
Yeah.
all.
Thank you, Savannah. Felicia, your thoughts?
I'll pass on this one, Diva. Thank you.
You're welcome. Wayne?
You know, I was thinking, you know, yeah, this is sad for anybody in this situation.
Mm-hmm.
And my prayers goes out to anybody, whether they're Justin Bieber or Bozo the Clown, that's going through any kind of pain or anything like this. And maybe this video will reach somebody that's going through something. May not reach Justin Bieber. You know, I mean, what can we tell him? You know, comment that he gets some help. But maybe this will help somebody in the present. Somebody could be viewing or something, going through the same thing. And maybe this will help them to seek some help. You know, so I hope it, you know, everything I hope for Justin Bieber's for everybody, you know, because it's, I'm sure it's something to go through. That's it.
Thank you. Julius, your thoughts?
Justin needs help. With this whole thing going on with Diddy, and I believe ever since Usher's halftime performance last year, his mental health has been on a nosedive. He needs help. He needs help.
Katrina, your thoughts?
Um, yeah, I think he needs rehab, but I'm not in his life. So I don't know what he's going through. We just go by the outside. We see people need help, and we're one way with one person, but we're another with another. Another person has been abused and lived a horrible life or whatsoever, and they use substances to try to deaden the feelings, but they don't realize when that high runs off, that feeling is still there. So if you don't deal with the problem gonna be there. I don't care if you drink it. I don't care if you smoke it. I don't care if you swallow it. I don't care what you're doing. Whatever you're doing, you think you're escaping, but when you come back down off that cloud, that problem's still gonna be there. So you have to deal with the issues that you're dealing with on the inside in order for you to feel good on the outside. Because if your inside is not good, your outside is not gonna be good. So hopefully, like I said once before, this boy, his mom was giving him substances. He don't even know what he was taking. He's out there drag racing in the streets. So I have sympathy for everybody that's on those things, because fighting that demon is a hard demon to fight. But sometimes you have to get on your knees and ask God to deliver you from it, because that's the only way it's gonna work. And hopefully he'll get to that point where he can. That's all I got.
Thank you. In my opinion, your thoughts?
So another sad case. This is sad on so many levels, but I don't think Justin ever felt safe.
Mm.
And I think he's been struggling to find a safe space for a very long time. Um, I think he thought he found it in that cult that he was in, called a Christian Worship Center. And I think when he let that go, he was even worse. And I think his wife has been trying her best to do what she can for him, but it's only so much she can do. You know what I'm saying? Like, she has to protect her peace too in this. And I think if he's not ready to get it, he's not ready to receive that he needs it. This is gonna be a down spiral for a while. I'm gonna keep him in my prayers because he's struggling with something really, really, really powerful, and it's gonna have to be him that wants to make that change and want to get the help that he needs. But that's all we can do is pray for him.
Appreciate you. Thank you. In my opinion, Wayne, your thoughts?
I went already.
Okay, my
Mel is next.
screen has shifted. Okay, Mel, your thoughts?
You know what? I think for me, if I was able to speak to Justin, because actually in my life, I volunteered at different community centers. I'm a gay man, so I've gone to the LGBT center here in New York City, and I've helped people, or I tried to leave. I'm a man in my 40s, so when I'm going there, people have been thrown out their homes, just a lot of stuff. And what I've always told people that I talk to when I volunteered at a place, when I talk to the younger people, and they were upset about things, I said, listen, let me tell you something. You told me these stories about everything you've gone through. We're never going to focus on the atrocities that I've heard, some of the stories of these people, the people I've talked to. What I want to tell you is that you being born was not a mistake, okay? I tell the people, you being born was not a mistake. So don't ever think that it was a mistake you being born on this earth. I know what you was born into. I know the people you encountered. You are not responsible for those interactions. You have no weight. You have no responsibility for the way people have treated you. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So don't say I should have. Don't say what I could have done. If you were a younger person and you've encountered people that were predatory in your life that was supposed to protect you as adults, you're not responsible for that. Okay. So now I know that you've gone out here searching in different relationships and different things and stuff like that. But I want to let you know, listen, you are a good person, and I don't really care what belief that you go to. You are a beautiful person, okay? And because you have been traumatized, what I would love for you to do is to face your shadow. You see, the person that has been damaged by these traumas is a part of who you are, and I want you to embrace that person because that person needs love. I need you to love yourself more than you've ever loved yourself in your life, because maybe some other people didn't love you in that way. You can, people don't always make it, Diva. I don't want to go into detail, but they don't always make it. But I don't blame them for that. I'll tell you that. I don't. I've helped people. At least I tried to. Mm-hmm. But I've always told people, you being born was not a mistake. Love your shadow. You're not responsible for your traumas. Because I think what happens is people get so caught up in the fact that I could have done something. Then they start blaming themselves. And then you see the videos that we saw tonight, or you see people acting out in certain ways. You get a free pass in my book if you've gone through something. I always tell people that, and they start laughing. I say, you do. No, you get a free pass from me. I don't care what you've done. Have you hurt somebody? No, I didn't. No, you get a free pass from me. And I'm going to tell you that you're a beautiful person. And I'm here just to tell you that you're not responsible for that. And I'm going to try my best to help with you. And I've gone and volunteered, and I've did phone calls and crisis lines. I've done it all, Diva. Trust me, because it helped me when somebody had passed away in my life. So that's what I would tell Justin. I don't really follow him, but I've seen him out there searching. He's searching for these different religious things. And people in that age group, they are searching when they've been traumatized. And we don't know what happened. But if I was to talk to Justin, I would say, keep searching. And it's okay. But you're not responsible. You're absolutely not responsible for your mother, for anything you've encountered, for the music industry. You're not responsible. Love on your child. Do the best you can. Don't hurt your. I mean, don't guilt yourself because some days you have bad days. Just do the best you can. And it's gonna. That's what I tell people. It's not to face the shadow. The shadow is a big part of the healing process. When you face that part of yourself.
Mel, I love it. Thank you so much. Oh my God. Thank you so much. Beautiful. Well said. Well said. Thank you. Savannah, your thoughts?
I already went, Tiva.
Okay. Did everybody go? My screen has shifted a little bit. All right. I appreciate that.
Yes.
Thank you, everyone. All right. We're going to go ahead and roll into this last story. The title, remember tonight, is Troubled Souls. But I love what you said, Mel, and thanks for all your volunteer work. It's just, we need people out there who's strong enough, who can do it and can have that compassion and understand and be able to help people. And you're right. My mind comes back to me. He has been searching. He has been searching. He's trying to tell.
And you know what?
That Christian leader that he went to, because I want to say that guy ended up falling out.
Right. I mean, you know what, David? Thank you, because I know the work you've done. I mean, I've been here for a long time. I know who you are and how you've done and with the work you've done in the world. It's important to me. My mother was that way. She's a woman who survived abuse and things like that as a child from her family. So she's always taught me, when you can, it always helps to volunteer. And if my passion or my calling is, when I'm not here talking about shady stuff with the stuff, my real world, it is helping people, especially in the LGBT community. That's what my heart goes to, or the disabled. Those are my two passions. I volunteer all the time with that. And people blame themselves too much. They blame themselves too much. And I've seen so many people, just harm themselves when they take responsibility for something that they had no responsibility. That's not them. You're not, if you're a child, you're not responsible for the music industry or your parents or who. No, you're not. And also in 2025, it's okay if you want to let people know you've been victimized. There's no shame in it. It doesn't make you less of a man. It doesn't make you anything. It just means that you owning what you've gone through. Don't hold on to it and say, oh, I gotta hide. No, you've been victimized. And I see you. You're a beautiful person. You keep on searching, and that's it. That's what I feel.
I love what you said. Don't blame yourself. Oh
No.
my God. You hit me tonight. I appreciate you. I appreciate that message you gave. I'm going to roll into the last story. And this last story is Blac Chyna, because Blac Chyna did some work herself. She put in the work, as Iyanla Avant would always say, right? So Blac Chyna says Kanye West racist outbursts are a cry out for help due to abandonment. Let's take a listen.
Ago, after he made some adverse comments about Kris Jenner, you said his rant then shouldn't be dismissed because of concerns about his mental health. So you clearly believe a lot of the things that's going wrong with Kanye for years have been driven by mental health issues.
So I'm not a doctor, and I honestly think maybe more so abandonmentship. You know what I mean? If you kind of take a look back at all the people that's been in his life, and he kind of put them on a pedestal and was there for them, they kind of left. And I feel like that kind of sucks, because sometimes we have to be there for people. And I feel like he hasn't really found that support yet that's going to stick by you through it all. So I think that's where the outburst is coming from.
When you see, though, the anti-Semitic stuff, the racist stuff, the inducements to violence, wearing a swastika, what do you feel about that?
I feel like it's a cry out for help. I do. I don't think it's for money or for likes or clickbait or any of that stuff. I just feel like he just probably feels alone. And the only thing that we could honestly do is just pray for him. And
have you talked to him in recent years?
No. And I respect his artistry, you know what I mean? And I respect him as Dream's uncle, but I think that's just really what it is.
Blac Chyna believes Kanye West's unhinged and racist outbursts are due to deep unresolved trauma. The reality star, who shares an 8-year-old daughter, Dream, with the embattled rapper's former brother-in-law, Rob Kardashian, said in an upcoming episode of Piers Morgan's Uncensored that West is likely struggling to overcome abandonment issues. If you kind of take a look back at all the people that's been in his life, and he kind of like put them on a pedestal and they left. Chyna, who now goes by Angela Wright, claimed in a sneak peek clip obtained by Page Six. I feel like that kind of sucks because sometimes we have to be there for people. And I feel like he wasn't really found, he hasn't really found that support yet. That's going to stick, to stick by you through it all. The model did not name who she thinks abandoned West 47. However, the Yeezy founder has openly dealt with a lot of loss in his life. In 2007, his mother, Donda West, died unexpectedly after undergoing a cosmetic procedure. Years later, his once close friend, Farnsworth Bentley, said the musician meltdowns were because he's never dealt with his mom's passing. He never mourned his mother, and that's at the root of this. And you don't have to be a clinician psychologist to figure that out, he said on the Rich Friend, the Elevated Conversation podcast in 2016. That is at the core of this. I think a lot of these things are coming up and coming out now. At the time, Kanye was also married to Kim Kardashian, with whom he shares 4 kids. But the Skims founder filed for divorce in 2021 after 7 years of marriage. They then settled in November 2022. Kim, 44, has not spoken in detail about what led to the demise of their marriage, but hinted on a recent episode of The Kardashians how difficult it is when your romantic partner personality changes. They're not the same person, and you can't ever get that person back, but you can't live with the new person. I get it, she said. I think that's where like the outburst is coming from. Chyna further reflected on Piers Morgan Uncensored about Kanye's rent. I feel like it's a cry out for help. The social media influencer says she doesn't think the power rapper will go on an anti-Semitic rants or sell swastika t-shirts for money, likes, or clickbait, but rather because he probably feels alone. The only thing we can probably do is just pray for him, she added. Chyna, who split from Rob 37 in 2017 and then sued the Kardashians for defamation, says she has not spoken to Kanye recently, but still has respect for his artistry and because he's Dream's uncle. When pressed by peers as to whether Kanye's choices will affect his 4 children negatively, the model responded, I think we can't discredit him as a father because we don't know. She said she doesn't think any adult would blatantly disrespect the kids by telling them what their father has been up to, and she doesn't think other children are bullying them over the rants at school. Kim, for her part, has said she is basically raising North 11, St. 9, Chicago 7, and Song 5 as a single mother, as Kanye isn't around often. Though All of the Lights rapper is now married to Bianca Censori, and a couple often travels together. The only person that can help him is God, Jesus Christ. That's who helped me, Chyna concluded, before sharing that she would be open to helping West herself. Maybe after this, he could reach out. Like, I'll be there to listen, because a lot of times people, they act and they take certain situations and act out in different ways. Whew. Felicia, your thoughts? I don't know. Felicia, are you there? All right. Katrina, are you there?
I'm here. Sorry, Diva.
Go ahead, Felicia.
Go ahead, Felicia.
Okay. When a person has issues and troubles and trauma, as many of us do, if they have some resources, they try to find help. They try to get good help. So some months, Mr. West is a billionaire. Sometimes he's half a billionaire, but he's always had wealth. And, you know, Angela seems to be going through her, what they call this very soft period in her life, and God bless her. But she said a lot of things that I thought were unfair, because what we see, his behavior is harming others. How he treats his wife publicly, how she allows him to treat him publicly, is disheartening. If you look at the daughter, she's looking to have time with her father, and it's crazy time. I remember we saw some clip where they were going to the movies or something, and her stepmother wasn't even dressed. Nope. We're back to, well, his mother died. My mother died. A lot of people's mothers die. You give God thanks for the time you had, that you're still here to be a mother, and you keep going. And you get counseling. He's got something funny in his mouth. People said, well, that stuff can have an effect on the body. If you're taking all of these minerals in, and you what is it, titanium? He's got something in his mouth. What? He's crying out for help by supporting an ideology that is about taking people's lives and hate and cruelty and no. And I don't know about everybody else, but I'm done with that and done with him. Okay.
Yeah, I understand your
point.
point.
It goes all the way back. I never seen him treat anybody kindly, particularly women. I didn't follow him all the time, but I didn't. So when does he get help? When does he seek out change? And I think one of the saddest things you can have is a relative in the family whose eyes are closed and the children are suffering. Oh, I'm going to respect him because he's so-and-so uncle. How many crazy predators do you have to have in a family still? This is BS. I would have had a little bit more respect for her if she said, well, I try to keep the kids, safe. Not this, oh, I respect him because he's so-and-so uncle. So what are you saying to your children? That when you see him behave this way and you see him harm others and be cruel to others, that it's all right? No, it's not all right. I'm done.
Yeah, you bring up a good point. That's why I like a panel, because you get different perspectives, because I get sucked in easily sometimes, I will admit. But she's probably, and I'm not giving an excuse, I'm just, you just triggered something in my brain, Felicia. She's probably, because her mother is unhinged. And that's probably where a lot of her sympathy is leaning towards Kanye from, because she deals with her unhinged mother. And I'm saying that respectfully. Katrina, your thoughts?
Yeah, Diva. All them people unhinged. I listen, as Felicia said, we all lost parents, but we're not out here with no swastika on our chest. We're not out here degrading the other race. We're not out here making a woman look like a fool. Well, she's making herself look like a fool because she have a mind to say, no, I'm not going to do this. So she'll go on along with it. So she's a fool herself. Kanye been acting up. Yes, people grieve their parents differently. That's what I was saying about Karen. But the thing of it is, he's been doing some outlandish, crazy stuff. And it hasn't changed, along with those ugly fashion shows. It's just ridiculous. I mean, yeah, he need help. He need to get back on his medication. And I would say that. I don't play with mental health. But for her to come out and say that because he's been abandoned, a lot of us been abandoned, but we're not out there degrading people. So hopefully he'll get some help. Hopefully Tony Otoki will get some help. All of them need help. I'm glad Blac Chyna found a way before she went all the way down to where she went, and she had to come all the way back up. So sometimes you have to go to the pits of hell to come back to be on Jesus' side. That's all I got, Diva.
Thank you. In my opinion, your thoughts?
So I feel like Kanye is his biggest obstacle because he knows he has a mental problem and he chooses not to take the medication. Um, he chooses to make these decisions. I, I keep trying to find a way to feel sorry for somebody like Kanye. I don't, because I feel like these are choices that he's made. Until he chooses to get the help, get back on his meds, and do the right thing, he's gonna keep on spiraling. He's gonna keep on doing this crazy stuff. But it has to be some hate already in your heart to continuously want to hate and want to hurt people. Um, I don't see him in this light of where he cares that he's hurting his own people. He doesn't care. Even when he had that school, he was hurting kids. He just, I can't find sympathy for people that hurt people that can't fight for themselves. So yeah, I just need him to get some help and get back on his meds.
Mm, thank you. Wayne, you're up.
Yeah, you can pass me on this one, Deep, because I don't follow Kanye like that.
Julius.
He needs help, but it's up to him. I mean, if we go back to 2020, he embarrassed, like told about Kim's personal medical situation. I'm pretty sure she probably didn't want that out. He needs help.
Yeah,
Other than that, that's all I have to say.
thank you. Mel, your thoughts?
You know what? I think that the state of the African American community, our community, is is in a state of crisis based on what's going on in this world currently in the government. And I think that Kanye has a lot of influence and a lot of power. And I think that if you're not doing good in our community, then I really don't have any sympathy for you either. At this point, you make a lot of noise, a lot of destruction, and I just don't have any. He's a rich man. He's a very, very rich man, and I'm sad that his mom passed. It seemed like that was the breaking point for him to go down the other road. But again, now we in 2025, I don't really have sympathy for unhinged people who don't know how to take care of themselves with all that money. We have a lot of problems in this country, and in my opinion, Kanye West is not one of mine. He's just not one of my concerns. Absolutely not.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Whoo, y'all, what a night. Wow. Troubled souls. I appreciate everybody and their comments and their thought process on these different stories. Prayers out to Karen. I mean, I saw a message saying she did yell out that, Ray Ray, I love you. God's got you, and to take care of yourself. I don't know. It's just it's a lot. It's a lot. Justin Bieber, my heart breaks for him. I think he probably is blaming himself for a lot. And no matter how big or small the situation is, blaming yourself is never gonna help. You ask for forgiveness from the person you believe in. I believe in God, and then you got to let that thing go. You got to leave it in yesterday and love on yourself. And Kanye West, he is doing a lot of, y'all reminded me, he is doing a lot of mean and hateful stuff. And he has 4 kids looking at him, watching him. And I want to say 2 daughters and 2 boys. And the wife is walking around with literally no clothes on. It's a lot. But listen, guys, I appreciate y'all being here. If you didn't hit that like button coming in, hit the like button going out. Good night and goodbye, everybody.
Good night.
Choo choo.